Colonel Mathieu, le porte-parole du ministre résident, M. Gorlin.
Colonel Mathieu, on parle beaucoup en ces derniers temps non seulement des succès obtenus par les parachutistes, mais aussi des méthodes qui seraient utilisées par eux. Pourriez-vous nous dire quelque chose à ce sujet?
Les succès dont vous parlez sont les résultats de ces méthodes. Les uns présupposent les autres et vice-versa.
Excusez-moi, mon colonel. Il semble que, peut-être par excès de prudence, mes collègues continuent à poser des questions indirectes auxquelles vous ne pouvez répondre qu'allusivement. Je pense qu'il vaudrait mieux appeler les choses par leur vrai nom. Et si on veut tout dire, parlons de la torture.
Compris. Et vous, vous ne posez aucune question?
Les questions ont déjà été posées. Je voudrais que les réponses soient plus précises, c'est tout.
Essayons d'être précis. Le mot torture n'apparaît pas dans nos directives. Nous avons toujours parlé d'interrogatoire en tant que seule méthode valable pour une action de police contre une organisation clandestine. Le FLN, de son côté, demande à chacun de ses membres qu'en cas de capture, il conserve le silence pendant 24 heures. Après quoi, il peut parler. L'organisation a ainsi le temps nécessaire pour rendre inutilisable n'importe quel renseignement. Et nous, quelle forme d'interrogatoire devrions-nous adopter? Celui en usage dans la procédure civile qui, pour le moindre délit, dure des mois?
La légalité n'est pas toujours commode, mon colonel.
Est-ce que celui qui fait exploser des bombes dans les lieux publics respecte la légalité? Lorsque vous avez posé cette question à Ben Midi, souvenez-vous de ce qu'il a répondu. Non, messieurs, croyez-moi. C'est un cercle vicieux. Nous pourrions en parler des heures durant sans arriver à une conclusion. Car tel n'est pas le problème. Le problème est, le FLN veut nous chasser d'Algérie et nous voulons y rester. Or maintenant, il me semble que même avec des nuances légères, vous êtes tous d'accord que nous devons y demeurer. Et lorsque la rébellion du FLN a éclaté, il n'y avait même pas de nuances. Tous les journaux, l'humanité compris, ont demandé qu'elle soit étouffée. Nous avons même été envoyés ici pour cela. Et nous, messieurs, nous ne sommes ni fous, ni sadiques. Ceux qui aujourd'hui nous appellent des fascistes feignent d'oublier la part importante que beaucoup d'entre nous ont pris dans la résistance. Ceux qui nous appellent nazis ne savent peut-être pas que certains d'entre nous ont survécu à Dachau et à Buchenwald. Nous sommes des soldats, et nous avons le devoir de vaincre. Alors, pour être précis, à mon tour maintenant de poser la question. La France doit-elle rester en Algérie? Si vous répondez encore oui, vous devez en accepter toutes les conséquences nécessaires.
Go ahead.
I'd like you to clear up once and for all the ambiguity about torture. Can we get a straight answer? The president says we don't do torture, but Cheney
It's about as straight as it can be.
But, yes, but Cheney
Yes,
has
thank
gone
you.
to the Senate and asked for an exemption. You know, who...
No, he's not. Are you claiming he's asked for an exemption on torture? No.
He did not ask
that
for
is inaccurate.
Are you denying everything that came from the Hill in terms of torture?
No, you're mischaracterizing things. And I'm not going to get into discussions we have.
Give me the straight answer for what?
Let me give it to you, just like the president has. We do not torture. He does not condone torture, and he would never...
I'm asking for exemptions.
Let me respond. And he would never authorize the use of torture. We have an obligation to do all that we can to protect the American people. We are engaged. It is an answer, because the American people want to know that we are doing all within our power to prevent terrorist attacks from happening. There are people in this world who want to spread a hateful ideology that is based on killing innocent men, women, and children. We saw what they can do on September 11th. And we are going to...
One question. I'm asking, is the administration asking for an exemption?
I am answering your question. The president has made it very clear that we are going to do... No, you don't want the American people to hear what the facts are, Helen, and I'm going to tell them the facts.
American people every day. I'm asking you, yes or no, did we ask for an exemption?
And let me respond. You've had your opportunity to ask the question. Now I'm going to respond to it.
Answer it in a straight
And I'm
way.
going to answer it, just like I just did, and the President has answered it numerous times.
No.
Our most important responsibility is to protect the American people. We are engaged in a global war against Islamic radicals who are intent on spreading a hateful ideology and intent on killing innocent men, women, and children. We are going to do what is necessary to protect the American people. We are also going to do so in a way that adheres to our laws and to our values. We have made that very clear. The President directed everybody within this government that we do not engage in torture. We will not torture. He made that very clear.
We ask for an exemption.
Helen, we will continue to work with the Congress on the issue that you brought up. The way you characterize it, that we're asking for exemption from torture, is just flat out false, because there are laws that are on the books that prohibit the use of torture, and we adhere to those laws.
For an exemption, is that right? I mean, be simple. This
I
is
just
a very
answered your
simple
question.
What are we asking for?
The President answered it last week.
What are we asking
Would you
for?
characterize what
We're asking to do what is necessary to protect the American people in a way that is consistent with our laws and our treaty obligations, and that's what we
Why
do.
does the CIA need an exemption from the military?
David, let's talk about people that you're talking about who have been brought to justice and captured. You're talking about people like Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, people like Abu Zubaydah. No, this is facts about what you're talking about.
Why does the CIA need an exemption from rules that would govern the conduct of our military and interrogation practices?
There are already laws and rules that are on the books, and we follow those laws and rules. What we need to make sure is that we are able to carry out the war on terrorism as effectively as possible. Not only,
What does that mean?
is what I'm telling you right now, not only to protect Americans from an attack, but to prevent an attack from happening in the first place. And you bet when we capture terrorist leaders, we are going to seek to find out information that will prevent attacks from happening in the first place. But we have an obligation to do so. Our military knows this. All people within the United States government know this. We have an obligation to do so in a way that is consistent with our laws and values. Now, the people that you're bringing up, you're talking about in the context, and I think it's important for the American people to know, are people like Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, Abu Zubaydah, Ramzi bin al-Shib. These are dangerous killers who...
Fine, so they're all killers.
Ask for an exemption on torture. That's a simple question.
No.
Yes or no?
And we have not. That's what I told you at the beginning.
Preserve the ability.
We'll make some progress. All right? I thought that you guys were going to ask me how I was going to spend my birthday. What happened to the happy birthday thing? I will address 2 points. I'll address. Hold on, guys. Come on. There's just. You're not that pent up. I've been giving you questions lately. On Brennan and the CIA, the RDI report has been transmitted. The declassified version that will be released at the pleasure of the Senate committee. I have full confidence in John Brennan. I think he has acknowledged and directly apologized to Senator Feinstein that CIA personnel did not properly handle an investigation as to how certain documents that were not authorized to be released to the Senate staff got somehow into the hands of the Senate staff. And it's clear from the IG report that some very poor judgment was shown in terms of how that was handled. Keep in mind, though, that John Brennan was the person who called for the IG report. And he's already stood up a task force to make sure that lessons are learned and mistakes are resolved. With respect to the larger point of the RDI report itself, even before I came into office, I was very clear that in the immediate aftermath of 9/11, we did some things that were wrong. We did a whole lot of things that were right, but we tortured some folks. We did some things that were contrary to our values. I understand why it happened. I think it's important when we look back to recall how afraid people were after the Twin Towers fell and the Pentagon had been hit and the plane in Pennsylvania had fallen, and people did not know whether more attacks were imminent. And there was enormous pressure on our law enforcement and our national security teams to try to deal with this. It's important for us not to feel too sanctimonious in retrospect about the tough job that those folks had. And as a general view, I think that we should be looking forward and not backwards. I do worry about this getting so politicized that we cannot function effectively, and it hampers our ability to carry out critical national security operations.
Well, what would you do? I said, I'd prove it immediately, but I'd make it also much worse. They said, what do you mean? I said, I'd do much worse. I said, they're chopping off our heads in the Middle East. They want to kill us. They want to kill us. They want to kill our country. They want to knock out our cities. And don't tell me it doesn't work. Torture works, okay, folks? Torture, have these guys. Torture doesn't work. Believe me, it works, okay? I want to keep our country safe. I want to keep our country safe.
What does that mean?
When they're shooting, when they're chopping off the heads of our people and other people, when they're chopping off the heads of people because they happen to be a Christian in the Middle East, when ISIS is doing things that nobody has ever heard of since medieval times, would I feel strongly about waterboarding? As far as I'm concerned, we have to fight fire with fire.